Hello, hello, and welcome back. I'm Claire, this is Purple Poppy, and today you would be forgiven for thinking I was going to do some kind of cooking show. It's Sunday, so we are on the Sunday Stitcheroo. Today is Roxy's weekly challenge, and the prompt this time around is a waterfall or pond. So I've obtained this picture from Pinterest and I'm going to trace it onto my fabric, and that's where this bowl comes in. Now I've got hubby's mobile phone because I'm recording on mine, so I'm just going to turn his phone on and hope it's not locked. Of course it's locked, so now I can't get in it. Oh yes, I can get in it. I do know what I'm doing. So I just want to find where his torch is, which of course is easier said than done, isn't it? I should have got him to show me before he disappeared. Of course I know exactly on mine. Oh, okay. That's a little bit annoying, isn't it? Where is his torch? I can't find it. Right, well what I was going to show you was that you can put your phone on torch mode, and then the light will shine through your upside down baking tray. You can then put your picture on and you can then see more clearly, as if you've got a light box to draw through your design. Yeah, because obviously I need to get that design onto my fabric. So let me go and have a word with him, find out what his torch is, and I'll come back. Well, that was a bit simple. Look, you can see there I've now got his torch on. Now I don't want to blind you, so I'm going to put all that on top first. Pick this up and you can see, you can hardly see the line, but when I turn it over like so, I can see, look, the lines very, very easily that I want to draw. So there's a little tip for you, and of course you can move the dish around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of tape. I'm going to make sure that the image is on the fabric where I want it. I'm just going to, whoops, oh, stuck that bit of tape to itself. That was silly, wasn't it? I'm now going to tape the fabric to the paper and to my baking dish. Okay, it's going to keep it nicely in place, and now I can move it around. Okay, so I'm going to do the bottom half first. Now I'm not going to be tracing all of this through because I don't want it to have all three levels. I only want it to have two. So I'm just going to draw around here, and obviously it's something that takes a few minutes, and if you can draw, then obviously you could do this freehand as Rachel showed in her video on Wednesday, but I can't draw to save my life, I really can't. So I'm just gonna trace this through like that. And we've got another line there. So this is likely to be almost an ASMR video because I'm semi-concentrating on what I'm doing. And then we've got the indication of a pool of water on the floor here. This is on those key lines that I talked to you about last time we did the stitching video. So how are you all? You happy, safe and well? Getting your crafting done, or in this case your stitching. I don't think I want these flowers, so I'm not going to do the flowers, but I am going to do the little droplets of water, and I'm planning that these droplets of water are going to be French knots. So obviously I'm drawing my own little dots now because I'm drawing through the flower. I'm going to do the same here. Come all the way down like that. Now I've got this line that's coming all the way down here like that, and then I've got one there, and I've got one there, and then I've got these really long teardrops. So I'm going to unstick this and just move it down. Put another little bit of tape on. Okay, so coming down, and then I've got these like teardrops. Those I will probably do in a chain stitch. I think that makes sense. So this is probably a little bit boring for you because I'm not really doing anything except tracing. Okay, and then there. So it's just all the little splashes and the droplets of water that are coming off of my fountain. What are you going to be doing? Are you doing a fountain or a pond? Right, let's move it again because I now want to get this first bowl of the waterfall. So that's the water line there. And then round. Boo is being a right madam today. She's trying to convince me that she's hungry despite having had all of her food rations for this time of the day. Now we've got that line there and there. She's pretty convinced that she's entitled to another meal. She's not, and she's not getting one. But she thinks she is. Okay, come over here. We've nearly got the whole of this first bowl now. Oh, that went wrong. That was supposed to go there. The only trouble, of course, is the fabric does move a little bit, so you do have to be a little bit careful. Okay, let's come back here. And of course the beauty is you can keep moving the bowl around. Right, I'm not going to do all this fancy bit. I don't think it's necessary for my design. I'll do that one there, and then I'm just going to come down like that. So to do this one. And then we're just going to come straight there. And then obviously I've got all those other waters to do. So that one comes there. That one's going to come there. So I started doing the Ugly Art Club design. Not design, challenge. We're only on day 4, isn't it? But I'm really enjoying it. I'm having some fun doing that. Don't know if any of you have joined in with that. There's quite a few people doing it, so there's lots of hashtags on it over, you know, the various media platforms. Right, now my fabric's moved a little bit, hasn't it? So let's just try and line this all back up a little bit. There we go, and that comes down there. Okay, so now we need to come up here and look at this small one. Now I'm not going to do the top one, I'm just going to do this one here. So I'm going to start at the bottom, bring that round, we'll have that one, then we'll join that up. Like that. And then obviously once I've done the stitching, we can, as always, iron this off. I know there's lots of people that say they've had issues with it potentially coming back. It's not one I've had, but then I don't really have extreme weather. So we've got to make one up for the middle there. I don't know. I'm hoping I never have that problem, obviously, because we don't want but if we've got lots of little white stitches, we don't really want that happening. You see, I'm just doing dots on this top one rather than the big droplets. Okay, so let's turn this phone over and turn that torch off, which of course now I can't do again for some reason. Oh goodness me, why is it not easy? So much easier on my phone. Do you know what, I'm just going to put that over there and not look at it. So if we now take this off, we can see what we've got. So it's my intention that I am going to obviously do my water bowl inside there. So that's where the water's obviously there. And that's going to come from there. So these two I don't want, do I? Because they're outside the water, as are these three. So I didn't really want them. So we'll get the iron and we'll take those three out. But then I'm quite happy with the rest of it. I think that's quite nice. I'm going to do outline stitching on the actual fountain. I'm thinking about it being stone, so I'm probably going to do that in grey. I've got some grey perlé, so I will do that on there. There we go. That's that side out. And I'll just lift this side out as well. And obviously that little bit in there. There we go. So, time to think about doing some stitching, isn't it? So as I say, I'm thinking of using the grey perlé to do the actual fountain. And then I don't know whether to use white. Yeah, I think I'm going to use white, because if I use grey, it's, you know, it's just all going to be grey, isn't it? So this is the grey perlé that I think I'm going to use for my fountain. Nice sort of stone colour, I feel. And then obviously I'm going to use, well, not obviously, I've decided I'm going to use white. And I've got the bridal white from Sheppy's, and this is number 105 bridal white. I think that'll make quite nice water. So let's set to and make a little start on getting this fountain stitched down. So there's my scissors, there's my scissors. So I've obviously done the whole drawing with you. So I'm obviously not going to stitch it all with you, but we'll make a start and see how we get on, how time ticks away with us. So I'm going to start, because obviously that's the white pool of water as well. So I'm going to start right here on this corner. And I think what I'm going to do is very basic, small little back stitches. Really simple stitches. I think when you're doing a picture like this, simple stitches are the answer. I think the decorative stitches are much better, you know, on their own, or as an edging stitch. I think if I was to use decorative stitches to do my outline drawing, then obviously you sort of lose the beauty of both things, because for me the brain gets confused as to what you're looking at. Are you looking at decorative stitches, or are you looking at a picture? So my personal opinion, obviously opinions vary and different people think in different ways, which is fantastic, because that's what makes the world tick round. For those of you that were following through on the second channel experiment, I have another update on that. In the second channel, I think I told you, was buzzing along very, very nicely. It was, oh, that's not good, is it? Misalign that stitch. Right, I'm going to pull that out because that will bug me. Was buzzing along quite nicely, and it was getting its own little set of followers, and a few people from this channel had gone over there, and surprisingly there was a rise in subscriber numbers on this channel, which I found a little bit odd, but anyway. But then I can't remember exactly when it was now, so I'm not going to say a day or a date, but I did the April alchemy that my friend Mel over at A Treasure Page was doing, and I thought, do you know what, rather than just do it here on this channel, I would spread the wings a little bit further. So I copied the video, or videos, there was two actually, over to the other channel to get, as it were, a double audience. But no, it didn't get a double audience at all. What it's done is it's carried over whatever problem is on this channel to that channel. So now, instead of the 200-300 views that each video over there was getting, along with an average of, I don't know, 10 new subscribers a day, there have been 0 new subscribers over there, and the views have dropped down to under 100. So yeah, I don't know, because obviously I don't want to start a third channel because it's just getting a bit ridiculous. I have now deleted those 2 videos from the other channel to see if, with them not being there, that makes any kind of difference. But if I'm honest, I'm not hopeful. So, very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Anyway, we're doing our stone fountain. And I did go and see my lovely friend Denise in the week, and I ransacked her stamp collection. She has got as many stamp, well, as I've said to you before, it is ex-shop stock, so it is a shop. I was going to say she's got more stamps than most shops, but of course she has. And I've stolen some Tim Holtz ones that I haven't got. Only on loan, I didn't steal them properly. So I've been having a good old stamp up to get many, copies of them before I take them back to her. But the reason I bring it up is because one of the stamp sets is like a haberdashery theme. I think it's CMS 105, and there's vintage cotton reel tops in there, the stamp of. Let me see if I can find the stamping that I did earlier to show you. There you go. So there's 2 cotton reel tops. Look at this, sewing machine, 3-cord spool 20 ounce. And then there's this one, Ace 100 yards, carpet and button thread. So they're lovely. But then I did get to wondering, if they were really old, what if I did them on some patterned cardstock? The red one I don't like, but the black ones I think are absolutely awesome. So I'm going to be hunting around later to see if I can find, in fact, as I'm speaking to you, is this by any chance the right size circle punch? Oh, would you look at that? Ta-da! So now I've got spool tops. Awesome. So that's exciting. I'm pleased about that. You know, I love a sewing theme journal or ephemera or whatever, and indeed sewing. So that's something I will be glad to have in my stash that I can add as and when is appropriate. Right, so now I'm going to go along this line here. If you wanted this particular image, because you haven't started yet, I just searched waterfall embroidery pattern in Google, and it took me to this one in Pinterest along with others, and I've just printed it out, and then you saw how I got it onto my fabric. So you can easily have a look for this, or if you want it, maybe you fancy something. Oh, look at that. I've gone down and up there. So I'm going to leave that because I think that shows an imperfection in the stone, if you like. So I'm going to leave that like that. I don't mind that at all. So yeah, if you were looking for it, that's where I found it. It was on Pinterest. But I didn't actually search it in Pinterest. I searched it via Google. So I got a random thread there that's obviously come through. So yeah, how you all getting on with your stitcheries? You up to date? You behind? I know Rachel was saying that a number of people have already done ponds and fountains ahead of this prompt coming out. So don't quite know what they'll be stitching this fortnight. I suppose at the end of the day, if you've already done a pond, you could do a fountain and vice versa. I don't know. I've actually been quite busy, so I've not got ahead of myself in that way. But to be honest, I've deliberately not done that because not knowing what the prompts were going to be, I didn't want to double up. And because I'm not doing the long strand, like the scroll that lots of people are doing, I'm doing individual pages. It would be really obvious in mine if I doubled up, and also, like a little bit pointless. So I've deliberately stayed away from second guessing prompts. I've done lots of other stitching, as you know, and my book is really actually coming along because I put 12 pages in my book, not thinking that obviously each page had 2 sides, which meant I had 24. So I ended up with, as many spare pages as we were going to have prompts. So I've gone back and I've just chosen things that I wanted to do that were garden related. I did a little sort of, I can't think of her name now, Bo Peep type girl. with a puppy, and I did a bunch of flowers with my monogram on. Lots of different things I've done. I think I've shown you most of them anyway. And obviously when I'm finished there'll be a flip through. I did want to do a beehive at some point, which I've not had a chance to do yet. But also I want to do my beehive in fabrics, I think. So I need to dig out, you know, some honey coloured fabrics, or I need to dig out some ink and dye some cotton that I can then cut into the right shapes. I quite like the way this back stitch through here is giving a bit of a bobbly look, which of course stone is. I mean, not the beautifully carved and polished marble type stone, but these sort of concrete cast type things, they obviously are a lot more bobbly. This feels good. I'm pleased. Okay, so that one through there. Right, I'm just going to go up here and complete this side. Oh my goodness, that wind sounds awful. It's been brilliant sunshine all morning. Chilly, but brilliant sunshine. And yet now we seem to have some kind of storm building. It's bizarre. So okay, so you can see now how this is all mapping out. Yeah, you can see that. So I'll leave that. You don't want to watch me do every one of them stitches. I'm going to get myself some white, and we'll look at some of these French knot droplets and some of the teardrops, along with some of the straight line. So now I'm going to have to do this bottom bit, because obviously I can't do the water behind the fountain. I need to do the fountain first. So I'll just work on this bottom area where it's not a problem. And you can just have a little look at how it's looking in my mind, as it were. Oops. Right. So I'm going to start here on this one, and we get ourselves a nice French knot going. 1, 2, 3, back down, pull it tight, hold it, put it through. Make sure we haven't got the grey caught up in that. So just using these French knots for my drips, as it were. Okay, and then we've got, this is our 6th one here. Seven. And 8. Oops, bit of a knot. Okay, there's our 8, and then I'm going to jump over there and just do the sort of puddle that's below. Got a bit caught up there. Is that better? That's better. Okay. So then just do a few stitches here. We are getting in a bit of a knot, aren't we? That's better. Honestly, this weather is ridiculous. I swear this time last year we were out enjoying the garden by now. Right, so got a bit of a issue there with one of the threads for some reason. That's better. Oh. That's what's causing it to knot. It's the frayed edge cottons, which of course is where it's so much easier, really, I suppose, if you stitch in a hoop, isn't it? Okay, well, I'm beginning to feel like that's probably enough stitching on camera for today, because it's all going a bit wayward, isn't it? We're getting knotted up. But there you go. So we've got the lovely base of our stone fountain. We've got some droplets, and we've got the beginning of that puddle there. And of course, there is our overall picture that we used our casserole dish or our cooking dish to transfer with the light of our torch. So I'm going to carry on stitching, and I'll be back to see you very soon. Ta-ta for now.